Have you ever noticed how sharing too much of yourself can sometimes lead to less peace in your life, not more? There's a delicate balance we rarely talk about between honesty and self-protection, between transparency and tranquility. I used to believe that complete openness was the foundation of authentic relationships. Share everything, hide nothing. But decades of living have taught me something profound. Sometimes the kindest gift you can give yourself is the right to keep certain aspects of your life private. This isn't about secrecy or deception. It's about honoring the wisdom you've earned through years of experience. It's about recognizing that at this stage of life, you deserve to protect your energy, your independence, and your peace of mind. Today I'm sharing 5 areas of life that, after 65, are often better kept close to your heart. If you value your autonomy, emotional well-being, and harmonious family relationships, these insights might just transform how you approach communication with those you love most. Stay with me until the end. What you learn could save you years of unnecessary stress and family tension. If this message resonates with you, consider subscribing and activating notifications to join our community of thoughtful, independent-minded seniors who are redefining what it means to age with dignity and self-respect. Now let's explore these 5 boundaries worth protecting. 1. The details of your financial decisions. There's a profound difference between being secretive and being selective about what you share. Nowhere is this more important than with your financial information. After decades of careful saving, wise investments, and thoughtful planning, you've built a life that reflects your values and priorities. You've earned not just your assets, but the right to manage them according to your own judgment. Yet many of us feel an obligation to explain, justify, or even apologize for our financial choices, especially to adult children or other family members. Consider what happened to Catherine, a vibrant 75-year-old widow who had managed her household finances impeccably for decades. After her husband passed, she decided to be completely transparent with her 3 children about her investments, savings, and spending habits. "I wanted them to feel secure about my situation," she told me. Within months, Catherine found herself fielding constant questions and suggestions. Her son thought she should sell her home and downsize. Her daughter questioned her charitable donations. Her youngest child sent articles about investment strategies, suggesting her approach was outdated. "I went from feeling confident about my decisions to second-guessing everything," Catherine confided. "Suddenly, money I'd managed successfully for decades became a source of anxiety." This pattern repeats itself in countless families. What begins as well-intentioned transparency often evolves into subtle, or not so subtle, attempts to influence or control. Even loving family members can unintentionally undermine your confidence when they believe they know better. Here's what I've learned. You don't need to share your bank statements to be close to your family. You don't need to justify your spending to maintain loving relationships, and you certainly don't need permission to enjoy the resources you've spent a lifetime building. This doesn't mean avoiding important conversations about estate planning or emergency arrangements. By all means, ensure your legal documents are in order and that a trusted person knows how to access critical information if needed. But there's a vast difference between responsible planning and opening your financial life to daily scrutiny. If you've noticed family gatherings turning into impromptu financial advisory sessions, or if you feel a twinge of guilt when purchasing something for yourself, it may be time to establish clearer boundaries. Remember, privacy around your finances isn't selfishness, it's self-preservation. It's protecting the independence you've earned through decades of responsible living. 2. Minor health fluctuations. Our bodies speak to us differently as we age. A stiff joint here, a restless night there. These small variations become part of life's rhythm. And naturally, when we're close to our families, we might mention these changes in passing conversation. After all, sharing our daily experiences is how we connect, isn't it? But there's a subtle risk in regularly updating loved ones about every minor health fluctuation. What seems like casual conversation to us can trigger disproportionate concern in those who care about us. Michael, an active 78-year-old who still enjoyed daily walks and woodworking, learned this lesson the hard way. During a family dinner, he mentioned having trouble sleeping the previous night. "Just couldn't get comfortable with my shoulder," he said, not thinking much of it. The next morning, his daughter called to say she'd made a doctor's appointment for him. By the end of the week, his son had researched sleep specialists, and his grandchildren were sending him articles about serious sleep disorders. Suddenly, one restless night turned into everyone treating me like I was falling apart, Michael recalled with frustration. This well-intentioned overreaction is remarkably common. When we regularly share minor health concerns, we inadvertently train our families to see us through the lens of our limitations rather than our capabilities. They begin to perceive fragility where there is still strength, decline where there is merely change. This doesn't mean concealing significant health issues or symptoms that genuinely concern you. Serious matters absolutely warrant family discussions and support, but the everyday variations, the occasional headache, the stiff knee after gardening, the night of interrupted sleep, these can often remain your private experience without diminishing your relationships. By being selective about which health matters you share, you maintain your identity as a whole person, not a collection of symptoms to be monitored. You preserve others' perception of you as capable and resilient, and perhaps most importantly, you protect yourself from the subtle erosion of independence that comes when loved ones begin to hover. Trust your judgment about which health matters warrant discussion. You've lived in your body long enough to know the difference between a passing discomfort and a genuine concern. Honor that wisdom and allow yourself the dignity of managing minor matters privately. 3. Your perspective on family conflicts. By the time we reach our 7th decade, most of us have witnessed countless family disagreements. Siblings who stop speaking over perceived slights, adult children who clash over parenting styles, in-laws who misunderstand each other's intentions. These conflicts are as old as family itself. And with our years of experience, we often see solutions that younger generations miss. We recognize patterns, understand personalities, and have the perspective to know which battles are worth fighting. It's natural to want to share these insights to help smooth the rough edges of family tension, but I've learned, sometimes painfully, that offering opinions on family conflicts, even when asked, can backfire in ways we never intended. Barbara, a gentle-spirited 82-year-old, shared a story that many of us might recognize. Her grandson and his wife were going through a difficult period, arguing frequently about finances and parenting. During a visit, her grandson asked directly what she thought about the situation. Believing he genuinely wanted her perspective, Barbara offered some gentle observations about compromise and communication. She thought she was being helpful, balanced, and kind. 2 weeks later, she discovered her grandson's wife was deeply hurt, believing Barbara had taken her husband's side. Despite Barbara's careful wording and genuine neutrality, her comments had been filtered through the lens of an already painful situation. The relationship became strained, and Barbara found herself excluded from family gatherings. "I was just trying to help," she said, the hurt evident in her voice. "Now I feel like I've lost them both." This scenario plays out in countless families. When we enter the emotional territory of others' conflicts, we risk becoming collateral damage in battles we didn't start. Even the most carefully chosen words can be misinterpreted, remembered selectively, or repeated inaccurately. The wisest approach? Cultivate the art of compassionate neutrality. Listen with empathy, but resist the urge to analyze, judge, or solve. Simple responses like, "That sounds difficult," or "I'm here for you, whatever you decide," offer support without inserting yourself into the conflict. This isn't about being passive or indifferent. It's about recognizing that family dynamics are complex and that your peace of mind is too valuable to sacrifice on the altar of conflicts that aren't yours to resolve. You've earned the right to step back from drama. You've earned the wisdom to know when silence is the most loving response. Honor that wisdom and protect your relationships by keeping certain thoughts private. 4. Regrets and what-ifs. Life is a tapestry of choices. Some we celebrate, others we question. By our 60s and beyond, most of us have accumulated a collection of what-ifs and if-onlys. The career path not taken, the move never made, the risks avoided, or the opportunities missed. These reflections are natural and even valuable for our own growth, but sharing them with family, particularly with children or grandchildren, carries unexpected risks. Sarah, a devoted mother of 3 and grandmother of 7, had always prioritized family over career. She'd set aside her dreams of becoming a writer to raise her children and support her husband's business. She had no regrets about her choices until one day she did. During a family gathering, feeling nostalgic, Sarah mentioned that sometimes she wondered how her life might have unfolded if she'd pursued her writing. "I wonder if I could have published something worthwhile," she mused, not thinking much of the comment. Months later, her daughter revealed that the comment had deeply affected her. "I've been feeling guilty, Mom," she confessed. "Like our childhood came at the cost of your dreams, like we weren't enough to make you happy." Sarah was stunned. Her passing reflection, meant only as a moment of personal honesty, had created a burden of guilt her daughter never deserved to carry. This is the delicate nature of sharing regrets with those we love, especially those who were part of the choices we made. What feels like innocent reflection to us can feel like rejection to them. Our what-ifs can be interpreted as dissatisfaction with the life we built together. Moreover, dwelling publicly on paths not taken can subtly shift how others perceive us. Rather than seeing us as wise elders still engaged with the present, they may begin to view us as trapped in the past, unable to find peace with our choices. This doesn't mean suppressing your authentic feelings or never discussing your life journey. Reflection is healthy, and certain regrets might carry valuable lessons worth sharing. But consider carefully who needs to hear these thoughts. A trusted friend, a therapist, or journal might be better recipients than family members who are themselves part of the story you're questioning. When you do speak of the past with family, try framing your journey in terms of growth rather than regret. Instead of "I wish I had," consider "I learned from that experience." This honors your truth while protecting those who might take your reflections personally. Remember, you can be authentic without sharing every thought. You can be honest without revealing every emotion. The grace of aging is learning which truths serve healing and which ones might inadvertently cause harm. 5. The full extent of your resources or struggles. Money conversations are complex at any age, but they take on new dimensions after 65. Whether you're financially comfortable or facing challenges, the full details of your situation are often best kept, somewhat private even, from close family. If you're fortunate enough to have substantial resources, sharing too much information can unintentionally change relationship dynamics. People may begin to see you through the lens of what you have rather than who you are. Expectations shift, boundaries blur, and sometimes, painful as it is to acknowledge, motives become mixed. William, a successful retired business owner, experienced this firsthand. After casually mentioning the value of his investment portfolio during a family dinner, he noticed subtle changes in how certain relatives interacted with him. Conversations increasingly turned to financial topics. Family members began sharing their struggles more frequently, with implied expectations of help. One nephew even presented a business plan, hoping for investment. "I went from being Uncle William to being the family bank," he reflected sadly. I started to wonder if people were spending time with me for me or for what I might give them. Conversely, if you're facing financial challenges, oversharing can trigger excessive concern or unwanted intervention. Family members may feel entitled to question your spending, suggest lifestyle changes, or even try to take over financial management, all out of love, but often at the cost of your dignity and autonomy. Eleanor, 72, made the mistake of telling her son she was concerned about rising healthcare costs. Before she knew it, he was researching assisted living facilities, suggesting she sell her beloved home and questioning every purchase she made. "He meant well," Eleanor said, "but I felt like I'd lost the right to make my own decisions overnight." The middle path is one of thoughtful discretion. Have clear estate plans and emergency arrangements in place. Ensure someone trusted knows how to access important information if needed. But beyond these essentials, consider keeping the details of your financial situation, whether abundant or limited, somewhat private. This isn't about deception. It's about maintaining relationships based on genuine connection rather than financial expectations or concerns. It's about protecting your right to make independent choices without constant scrutiny or pressure. After a lifetime of managing your resources, you've earned the right to continue doing so on your own terms. Protecting that independence isn't selfish, it's an act of self-respect. As we reach this stage of life, we begin to understand that peace isn't just the absence of conflict, it's a precious resource to be protected and nurtured. Sometimes the kindest gift we can give ourselves is permission to keep certain aspects of our lives private. This isn't about building walls between ourselves and those we love, it's about creating healthy boundaries that allow relationships to thrive without unnecessary tension or misunderstanding. It's about recognizing that not every thought needs to be spoken, not every feeling needs to be shared, and not every detail needs to be disclosed. You've spent decades caring for others, often putting their needs before your own. Now is the time to honor your own needs with the same dedication. Your tranquility matters, your independence matters, your right to manage your life according to your own wisdom matters. If this message resonates with you, I invite you to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and share these insights with someone who might benefit from them. Your experience and perspective are valuable, not just to your immediate circle, but to our entire community of thoughtful, independent seniors. I'd love to hear your thoughts in the comments below. What boundaries have you found important to maintain? How has selective sharing enhanced your relationships or protected your peace of mind? Your wisdom might be exactly what another viewer needs to hear today. Thank you for your time and attention. Until we meet again, may you find the perfect balance between connection and self-protection, between honesty and privacy, between giving of yourself and honoring your own needs. You've earned that balance. Now embrace it.